In my 12 years of freelancing, I've had the privilege of receiving emails from graphic design students from all over the world who are either doing some sort of essay or end of the year project. And so I'm going to take their most asked questions and answer them for you right now. All right, so I'm going to read questions off my phone. And the first one is, what training and experience was required to become a full-time graphic designer? I personally have a 2-year associate's degree in interactive media and business, which is just a fancy name for I learned how to make brochures in Microsoft Word, and I probably had a total of 2 really solid art classes. So my degree has played no part in where I'm at in my career. I knew pretty early on that I wanted to pursue graphic design as a career. It's something I loved to do in high school. So when I was in college, I was taking on freelance projects on the side of also working a part-time job. So that when I graduated in 2011, I quit my part-time job to try freelancing full-time, and well, I've been sticking with it ever since. To get to where I'm at to freelance full-time, you don't need anything official. You can pretty much teach yourself everything you need to know online and basically for free using tutorials, other designers' newsletters, YouTube videos. You can pay just a really small amount, like nothing compared to what it costs to go to school, to take online courses and classes, workshops on very specific topics that will help you advance you in the career that you want to follow as a graphic designer. But let's say you want to do more of a traditional 9-to-5 job working for a company. A lot of those people do prefer some sort of traditional education, and it also depends on the type of person you are. You know, you might thrive by teaching yourself, doing things online for free, or you might do better like in a classroom with assignments with a group of people. So it really depends on who you are as a person and what path you want to take. But honestly, at the end of the day, if you have a solid portfolio, a really good work ethic, and you can communicate and present yourself effectively, that's going to be way more valuable to an employer or to clients than having just, some person with an official piece of paper. The second question I have is, what attributes or skills are important in a graphic design career? A bit of a harsh truth is anyone can learn how to use the software, Photoshop and Illustrator, and learn the fundamentals of design. Anyone can do that for free online, but what makes a good graphic designer is someone that makes the right decisions with those tools, if that makes sense. So it's not about the tools and knowing the software, it's about how you use them and how you put those pieces together. A lot of being a graphic designer is being more self-driven, and when you hit a problem, you got to know how to find the right solution. So knowing how to Google is going to be a really big thing. And a lot of being a designer doesn't even come down to the design aspect of stuff. A lot of it comes down to communication and your work ethic. Most of your job as a graphic designer is going to be communicating, whether that's on phone calls, emails, when you present your designs, how you present that sort of stuff, how you take feedback and deliver revisions. The list goes on and on. Really, it all comes down to communication. And then, of course, if you have a really good work ethic and can produce good work, then you will definitely make it as a graphic designer. The next question is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about being a graphic designer? The thing I enjoy most is that I get to bring ideas to life. Specializing in t-shirt design specifically, I get to see my designs go from the computer and brought into the real world. My designs get put into the hands of the people that want to enjoy it, the fans of the bands that I'm designing for. So seeing my designs go from digital to tangible products is super rewarding. Now, on the flip side, being self-employed, it can just be really mentally draining. I don't work a normal 9-to-5 job, so there is no clocking out. I always have to be in this constant state of creative mindset, so even when I don't want to be, I have to force myself to push through, which just ultimately leads to burnout way more than I would like. Also, as a freelancer, I am completely in charge of my entire business. I have to not only do the design work, but I have to constantly worry about finances, and I'm always thinking about the projects that I'm currently working on, even when I'm, away from my computer. So of course, no matter what, career you go into, there's going to be its ups and downs. And honestly, I'm super grateful to be where I'm at in my career, and that I get to, make my own schedule and take on the projects that I actually enjoy doing. So I can't complain much. All right, I absolutely love this question. How do you let clients know if their idea is bad in the nicest way possible? I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell a client that their idea sucks. Of course, I have to do this in the nicest possible way. To give you an example, I had a client that wanted a t-shirt designed for their music studio, and they specifically wanted it to say, "Got music?" They also wanted this shirt to appeal to a wide demographic. Anyone that grew up around the 90s would understand this reference and might think it's kind of funny, but anyone younger than that just wouldn't understand the reference, so it wouldn't really achieve their goal. The whole idea is just a bit out of touch in general, so I instead offered them some new ideas that we could bounce off of. So in those situations, instead of telling your client that your ideas are horrible, you should respond honestly, rationally, and if you can, with better ideas that meets their actual goal. However, it happens more often than you would like. There are very stubborn clients who give you very clear directions on what they want, and in those situations, you just have to bite the bullet and create what they want. Not everything you design is going to be portfolio worthy, and that's okay. Probably the biggest question I get asked is, what advice can you give to someone who wishes to go into graphic design? I feel like I give this answer a lot to the point where it feels cliche, and that is to just create as much work as possible. Creating as much work as possible is the only way that you can figure out what type of design work you absolutely love to do. And that way, once you know that, you can really focus in on it and figure out how to build a whole career around it. At the end of the day, your entire graphic design career is going to thrive off your ability to create. Like I said earlier, anyone can learn the fundamentals of design, so you can't really make a fulfilling career out of it if you don't enjoy doing it. Having a career in graphic design is very much a passion-based career, as cheesy as that sounds, but that's just the reality of it. You're only going to succeed if you enjoy doing it. It took me 2, maybe even 3 years of dabbling in literally every area of graphic design to figure out the area that I loved to do, that being t-shirt design for the music industry. And once I knew that, that level of focus is the only way that I've been able to make a career out of this, landing some of my own dream client projects. So when I say create as much work as possible, if you struggle at that point to just sit down and create work, if you're not having fun with it, chances are you're gonna struggle having a long career in graphic design. All right, that is only a very small selection of questions that I get from graphic design students from all over the world. Hopefully you found some value in that. And if you have any other questions whatsoever, leave a comment below and I would love to take the time to try and answer them as best as I can. If you made it this far, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. This sort of watch time is so important for small channels like mine, so I appreciate you. Now with all that said, let's get back to work.